Welcome to this Controlware presentation. Today we would like to show you our field validation software. Um, our field validation software helps our customers to be in control of data accuracy, basically by checking the data upon entry. So the moment someone adds information to the system, that's the moment when you check if the data is correct, if nothing's missing, and if it complies with all the business rules you set for that data. Some examples for field validation rules that our customers use is that they want to prevent forgotten fields throughout the system. So they want to say, well, these fields are mandatory. So every time someone enters certain data, these fields have to be filled out. Otherwise, it's not good. We will ask them to do this again or add these fields later. Next thing is, so the mandatory fields can also then become depending on other field settings. So if you say I'm shipping to the US, you'll have different mandatory fields than when shipping to UK or to China, for example. So mandatory fields can also become mandatory by data that's entered in other fields. So that way you can really make sure that you have the correct data before you start processing orders or things like that. Also, we can limit what you can do. So you can say it's an error, so you are not allowed to save this data in the system. But there's also the option. Well, let's say a status change. So my example later on will be where we have a customer that we want to unblock, so people can book orders against that. And you can now say, well, you can only unblock this if your customer entry fulfills all the rules we set for that. So mandatory fields are filled out. Extra data that we want added matches the criteria we set for that. An email address has to be an email address, etc., etc. Also, you can use this validation to check your current data. So likely you already have a lot of data in your ERP system. So then it will be quite relevant to say, well, we want that all the data has these fields mandatory and some other checks that you won't like to do. And you check your current data and you get a report, say, well, here and here and here are the things missing. And then you can work from there. And last but not least, we also use this tool to enrich template data. So you can, when someone starts a new customer, a new product, whatever, you can already fill out certain fields. So that helps them to fill out and that it makes their life a lot easier. So all in all, the goal is to have more data accuracy, to make life easier on your users, and that your data in your system is always as good as you can possibly get it. So I'd like to show you now if that's okay. Welcome to the demonstration of our field validation software. In front of me now is Business Central, standard Business Central implementation. And we set the field validation for demo purposes up on the customer table. So I'm going to use my test customer, which is Rick's Companies. And let's see if I now want to change something here. Say, well, that's a company, and I'll leave the field. Top right, you can see it has been saved. So I was able to make this change as a user, but you can also see it's blocked. So I'm not able to put up orders or something against this customer. So if I now want to do that, I have to unblock it. And by unblocking it, it will trigger validation. So now it will tell me it was blocked, but after validation, it's blocked again. And that is because the phone number should be between 8 and 20 characters. There's no shipping address, the email address is not correct, etc. So I need to still do some work before I can put in orders against this customer. So now, how is this all set up? It's in our field validation module. There we go. You could use Copilot to do this, but right now we'll just look at the standard setup, and it's like this. So we wanted to check customer data, and therefore we look at table 18, the customer table, and you'll see it issues a warning. There's also the possibility to create an error, but that will mean that you would, the moment you make a mistake, you have to refresh the page and try again. So that's not how we want to work here, because adding a new customer is a lot of work. So we want to give people the opportunity to save it, to come back to it later. However, we want to prevent them from using incorrect or incomplete data further in the process. So that's why we set up this validation. So that's now a warning. And it also says, well, what do you want as a trigger then, if it's not the save? Well, we want it on the blocked field in this case. So if the blocked field is blocked all, then that's a start. So the moment you change it from blocked all to something else, it will trigger the validations we see below, and then if something gets triggered, it will be set to blocked all again. You could validate against default dimensions as well. So you can say, well, we set up these default dimensions, they are important to us, so we also want to check those if those are filled out correctly. And here you see the other validations we do. So in this case, credit limit should be between this and that. Phone number should be a certain length. We want in a related table, in this case, the delivery addresses or the shipping addresses. We want to have at least one record for this customer, etc., etc. And here, regular expression. This is something where you can ask Copilot or Google to create a regular expression, but this is basically you checking against anything that you would like to check. So that's how you set them up, and then really important that you fill out the notification that a user gets, because this notification will then be the way that the user knows how to solve their own problem. So not call IT every time, but they know, oh, well, the phone number should be between this and that. I now know how to put in a correct phone number. So that's the most important thing I wanted to show here. And then here there's a button check table. As mentioned in the presentation, this is where you can check your current data against these validation rules. It will not just start blocking customers, but it will tell you where you still need to work on your data to make sure it also complies with the checks that you set here. So that's what I wanted to show you today. If you want to learn more, if you want a more extensive demo or discuss a specific business case, reach out to us. We're happy to jump on a call and to show you. Thank you so much.